Today I'm sitting down with Eric Gu, the founder and CEO of Metaverse, and today we're going to ask a few questions about the blockchain industry. And the first question I wanted to ask is, what's the difference between the blockchain industry now and when you started with it?
Well, this is a really good question. Well, let me say, when did I actually start in this industry? It's early 2013. So back then, I don't think there are many people understand what blockchain is. Or actually, we're in China, there's no official translation yet. So not many people understand what is blockchain. We talk about Bitcoins, right? So 2013, we talk about Bitcoins. And in China, there are a group of people, learners, I'll say scholars, they are researching what we call the Bitcoin 2.0. Then later on, it become blockchain. I think that phrase actually was settled. I think it's later 2014. I think it's drastically different from now, between now and 2013. 2013, you probably see a few people come out and say, "Oh, I want to do a few projects Bitcoin-like." They're saying things like that. "Oh, I want to create a multi-currency wallet." And that's about it. But nowadays, you actually see the sophisticated team. Maybe you have 100 developers in one team with hired by some insurance company or say a bank. Instead of 2013, you have a few guys in the basement or say in a garage and say, "Oh, I have a great idea." So that's the biggest difference. It's way more sophisticated nowadays.
So what is your first experience with Bitcoin?
My first, I guess you're asking when did I spend my first Bitcoin?
Yeah, both is bought and spent.
Okay, bought. Oh my goodness, bought. Well, I guess many people heard my story, how I got into Bitcoin, which my wife told me that there's something called Bitcoin, that it took me a while to understand what Bitcoin was. Then the next question to me is, how can I get some Bitcoins? Remember, I was in China. That was a Friday afternoon. I was like, okay, where to get some Bitcoins? You know, there's something called Taobao, right? Taobao is like a Chinese version of eBay. I was like, well, almighty Taobao, I can get Bitcoin from there. Well, sure enough, there was a seller. I contacted him and said, I want a Bitcoin. He told me a price that was too expensive. He says, you don't have to buy one Bitcoin. You can buy 0.1 Bitcoins. I was like, I can do that. Sure, you can buy only 0.1 Bitcoin. I was like, okay, I'll do that. So I sent my Chinese cash, RMB, to him through Alipay, right? Then he come back to me, he says, please do not download Bitcoin Core wallet. I was like, why? He said, because it takes 1 week to sync up. Was it syncing? Synchronize? He says, yes, please use blockchain.info as your online wallet. I said, okay, sure enough. So he actually walked me through how to set up my very first Bitcoin wallet. It took me only, 10, 15 minutes, pretty easy. Then sure enough, he sent me a 0.1 Bitcoin. That was the first time I got my Bitcoin. Then later on Monday, when I got all the money from the stock market, you know, stock market is usually T+1, meaning it's Friday, too bad, you have to wait for Monday to get your money out. So on Monday, I got my, money from my stock market. I bought more through, BTC China, a proper way than Taobao. Well, that's my experience of buying a Bitcoin. Then I guess you probably ask, when did you actually spend Bitcoin? That was January 2014, Miami Beach. I flew to Miami Beach to attend a Bitcoin conference. Then that night, I heard there's a pre-conference meetup. Then I said, okay, I'll go. So I went. Along the road, I found I think it's a bar, right? I thought the meetup was there. So I walk in there, I ordered a drink. It's about this, it's a huge size, this big, right? The total was like $27 US, including tips and taxes, right? Then I asked the waiter, I say, is there a Bitcoin meetup here? And he goes, yes, but not in this bar, behind the building. I was like, oh, okay, sure. Can I take this drink and I pay? I want to go to the meetup. He said, sure. Do you want to pay by Bitcoin or US dollar? I was like, what? Pay by Bitcoin? He says, yeah, Bitcoin. I said, that's okay. I have US dollar in my pocket. He says, no. I insist. He said, I insist you should pay by Bitcoin. Okay, that's interesting. So I took out my iPad and I scanned his QR code. He has this device from BitPay, and scan and pay. It's about, I think it's 0.0321 Bitcoins. Back then, Bitcoin was $800 something, right? So it's about 27 US dollars. That was my story.
That must be a quite expensive drink today.
Oh yeah, oh wow. Think about this, yes. I think it's in the hundreds.
Perfect, yeah. But a follow-up question to when you bought it the first time, do you still have contact with that person you bought it from?
Oh, from Taobao, you mean?
Yeah.
You know what? I could actually, because I can, good. Yeah, good thoughts. I'll go back check.
Yeah. We should check him up.
Yeah. Well, the other thing. The other thing I want to mention was the second transaction, the second time I spent Bitcoin was I made a donation to a charity. The good thing about donating Bitcoin to charity is you actually can see where does money go. And in the end, I traced that money, and that charity actually spent my money, my Bitcoin, on a Canadian athlete. I think it's Paralympics, and sponsor him to go to Olympics, which make me feel really good.
Yeah.
Charity.
Asia and China especially is very far ahead in the world when it comes to blockchain. The technology is thriving over here. Why do you think that is? And also, does the Chinese blockchain companies work a lot together?
Wow, again, it's a great question. This is how I see it. China is kind of ahead of the game of mobile internet. Think about this. In the Western world, I'll say Canada, US, or say European country, we are so into the traditional finance world that we use checks, we use credit cards, and China just come out of nowhere and skip all those steps and say, most people never heard of something called checkbook, and not many people use credit card, but everyone has a smartphone. Everyone has a smartphone, and they have Alipay, equivalent to PayPal. And like last time I was in 7-Eleven, I tried to buy something and use cash, and said, "Don't you have Alipay? Do you really want, cash change? This is too much trouble." I was like, okay, this is China, right? So the young people in China are so immersed in this mobile internet culture. That was why the adaptation of new technology is so quick. When blockchain come out, I say Bitcoin, yeah, and Litecoin, yeah, Dogecoin, yeah, Ether, even better. You have a smart contract, right? People like to learn. People like to explore. They have fear of missing out. So there are really cool technology out there. I like to know. This is the general feeling of young people in China. So that's why the whole Asian, or say the whole China is like so ahead of the game.
So where do we find the best blockchain knowledge, blockchain talent here in China?
Well, it really depends. Say what kind of talent that you want. Let's say whenever we talk about blockchain, people start thinking technology. If you want best developers, best coders, well, go where Alibaba is. Go where Tencent is. So city of Shenzhen, city of Hangzhou, and where Baidu is in Beijing, right? Beijing, Hangzhou, and Shenzhen are the best places to find the good coders to write a blockchain coding, right? But in terms of research and finance, it's right here, Shanghai. Shanghai, you have the best researchers. They read English well, they understand Western culture, they understand Chinese language and Chinese culture, and they have a combination of the total knowledge of the blockchain. They can see it broadly. And look at this, Metaverse is here. We are here, and you have Neo, you have VChain, you had Binance, you had BTC China, you had Fenbushi, and you had a lot of investment blockchain hedge fund as well. So Shanghai is like hugely important in this industry. But again, if you really want coders, Beijing, Hangzhou, and Shenzhen are the place you want to be looking.
Yes, so now Viewfin has offices both in Shanghai and in Toronto. What's the differences that you see within blockchain when working in those two continents?
Actually, they're quite different. Again, I think I explained before that in China, a lot of people thinking in applications. So mobile internet already at application level, meaning people purchase food and get it delivered in the same hour maybe. If they buy grocery, they got delivered on the same day. It's like you can scan a bike and you just ride it a shared biking service, right? In Shanghai, it's everywhere. So people here turn to think blockchain at this level. They want an application like today. But back in Toronto, there are a lot of geek developers or say researchers. They understand that we are still laying the foundation. They want to create some fundamentally sound structure, not at the application level yet. They understood that, and they think there will be a lot of innovation can be done at the lower level, meaning at the foundation level. So they're trying to innovate from bottom up. Yeah, that's the major difference.
So we have seen in the crypto market there's been quite of a bear market, and a lot of people say it's the crypto winter. What do you think about that?
Well, yeah. Winter is here. Winter is coming. It's not winter is coming. Winter is here. I think I think we have seen the bottom of Bitcoin price already. But do you think the bull market is here? We're gonna have a bull market very soon? No. So it's not like the end of downtrend. Immediately you got a huge uptrend. No. Usually what happens is you get a big downtrend, then you have a level of zigzagging for a very long time. Look at 2015. You will understand what happened in 2015 is like sideways for the whole year. So nothing going on. I think we're probably entering this stage. There's nothing going on for a year maybe. Then probably you can talk about a really uptrend or bull market, and slowly. Yes, I'm optimistic about the whole crypto market, but it takes time.
Yeah, so thank you guys very much for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you want to see more from Eric and from me, Magnus Dettmar. Hope you have enjoyed this video. See you guys soon.
See you.